whether one says, is it ein Stadt oder ein Staat oder ein Land? Der Staat, die Stadt und das Land. So
What is the
politically,
unterschied between their Stadt and the Stadt?
the Stadt is city, their Stadt is state. Spelling is different. Their Stadt, S-T-A-A-T. Their
Yeah.
Stadt, die Staaten.
So
Die
this is
Vereinigten Staaten.
S-T-A-D-T.
Yeah, the other, the Stadt is D-T. A-D-T, umlaut, A umlaut, E is Städte. Plural. Die Stadt, die Städte, das ist cities or towns. Kleinstadt, Großstadt. Die Stadt, die Städte. And then their Staat as the state, which could be in political science, the country as a state or a state within the country. Yeah, Bundesland or Länder. It depends how you define it. It comes from the old Latin and the French word état, E-T-A-T, which meant state. It goes to the Latin word state of stat, I think it was, or etats in old Latin, which called for a political unit, was called a state. This is Latin and history and geography from Latin, of Latin.
Okay.
Some words have very strange origins.
No, this always I get confused with this. They start, their start, and we start the program. That is also start. Am I right? We start. The program is going to happen.
That is start. R. S-T-A-R-T. Their start.
No, unstart. Unstart. We say.
Unstart. S-T-A-T-T. The A is short. Instead
so that is beginning
of,
or inaugurating.
No, unstart means instead of.
That is a start and start, okay. But something, the program will happen at my city hall, like that we say. There also we use one start.
Stattfinden.
Stattfinden, yeah.
Stattfinden, S-T-A-T-T. Das ist Stattfinden. Das Programm findet 5 Uhr in dem Großraum statt.
So stattfinden, okay.
Ja, stattfinden. Das ist stattfinden. Okay.
Okay. Another thing,
alles
push,
gut? Alles
this
munter?
thing. Yeah.
Ja?
Beulah and Ajit, I just shared just for your information. So it is already corrected by sir. So you can use it if you want. The relatives start say that Ubung I shared with the Beulah and did yesterday night. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So now we look at the lesson. Then we come to the grammar. Let's see whether we can find the grammar we are looking for in this lesson. Also, das ist auch, was Deutschland bezogen und Europa bezogen ist. Sowas gibt es in einigen Ländern, aber nicht in allen. Und was ist denn das hier? Spott gegen Gewalt. So, was kann man darunter verstehen, ohne den Text gelesen zu haben? Spott gegen Gewalt. Was ist Gewalt? Was bedeutet das Wort Gewalt? Ja, was glaubt ihr? Was kann das Wort bedeuten? Gewalt.
Attack oder?
Attack, no.
Violence.
Gewalt is force, basically force. And this force normally is associated with something uncomfortable, unangenehm, and physical. So when you say Gewalt, it is something to do against the body. So basically something that is physical against a person. So force or violence. So die Gewalt. So sports against violence. Was kann man darunter verstehen? We have just been given this word, Sport gegen Gewalt. What can one expect in such a text or in such a passage?
Defensive sports.
Is it defensive sports or is it something else? Can you explain it a little more?
Martial arts.
Okay, you're going by the picture. If you don't have
Yeah.
the picture, sports against violence as a topic, as a theme.
So sports against violence against. That's what I said. It's a self-defense games.
Is it only self-defense? Can I use volleyball or cricket or football as some sport against violence or physical
No,
violence or anything?
does not make sense. Yeah, it's nicht sinnvoll.
Can if you look at it in a lateral thinking, it will make sense. What is my target group here? Sport gegen Gewalt. Come on, people. A little bit of abstract thinking, out of the box thinking.
For the weaker people. Schlechterman oder ein bisschen.
Also Straßenkinder, Kinder auf den Straßen, also die Straßenkinder, die nicht in die Schule gehen, die Anti-Polizisten sind, die Kriminelle werden. Wenn solche Leute, also sie alle üben Gewalt aus, Raub und Mord und Stehlen, ja, Diebstahl, Angriffe, alle solche Sachen machen diese Kinder, weil sie nichts zu tun haben. Sie bekommen nicht die richtige Anweisung im Leben. Ja. So, wenn wir oder wenn ein Mann oder eine Person diese Kinder zusammen unter einem Dach stellt und gibt den Kindern ein Ziel im Leben. You give them an objective in life. I teach them football, how to play football, make them professionals in such a way that they start earning money. The result would be they are so busy training that they don't have time to think of criminal activities. They are focusing all that violence on the sports field against an inanimate object, hitting a ball as hard as they possibly can or could. So dieser Sport gegen Gewalt ist eigentlich eine Bewegung. Das ist nicht immer mit Taekwondo oder mit Judo oder Jiu-Jitsu oder Karate zu verstehen. Das kann man auch mit anderen Sportarten verstehen. Es gibt einen Mann im Nordosten von Indien, ich habe den Namen leider vergessen. He has put together a football team of Straßenkinder. I think it was in Kolkata or Guwahati. I don't now again remember, I'm sorry. Those kids play brilliant football. He has focused all that energy, that faulenzen and everything into the sports field with these kids. Now they have a purpose in life. They want to become professional footballers. Sie wollen alle Profis werden. So when you look at this text. And this is the Übung, this is the Aufgabe I just took up. Lesen Sie die Überschrift des Textes. Was denken Sie? Wie kann Sport gegen Gewalt helfen? Sowas Ähnliches wird auch in Amerika gemacht. Die Straßen, yeah, no, not only Tyson, but even others, for example. So they're being taught boxing as an outlet. They're being taught basketball. They're put into sports to wean them away from the streets. Utilize that energy, that youthful energy, that anger against an inanimate object. Take revenge on the basketball, on the sport itself, not against somebody. You kill the opposite team by scoring and winning for your team. Und was dann passiert, wenn man siegt, siegen to be victorious. Wenn man siegt, bekommt man Ruhm. You get fame. And that is enough for most of the kids, I'm talking of America, and anywhere else in the world, to keep away from that crime. Sport braucht auch viel Disziplin. So they spend their time training. A lot of training. So there's no time for them to indulge in all those petty crimes they used to do earlier. So hier gibt es auch in Hamburg einen Mann, der diese Kinder trainiert. Also wie man hier im Bild sieht, im Hintergrund stehen sehr viele Kinder. Und das ist auch interessant, weil der Trainer ist kein Deutscher, der ist ein Ausländer. Und dieser Mann ist ein Afghaner. Er kommt aus Afghanistan. Ein gebürtiger Afghaner. Also er wurde in Afghanistan geboren, lebt und arbeitet jetzt in Deutschland. Und er trainiert diese Kinder. Wie heißt der Sport hier? Dieser Sport?
Ich glaube, es ist Judo oder
Judo
Kickboxing.
Karate, ja.
This is Taekwondo,
Taekwondo.
where the legs, arms, both are used. This is Taekwondo. Judo, only hands are used. Only hands. Same thing with karate. Ka is with the hands. Very similar root to the Tamil Kai, hand.
Yes, sir.
Very similar, the root. So this is the Japanese thing, karate, only the hands. Judo, the grips with the hands and the body grips. The same thing with Jiu-Jitsu. Tai Chi is more of a breathing exercise to help you calm down. So there are different sports for different ways the body can be conditioned and trained. Kung Fu is again a similar sport. You train the body and you train the mind. Using some of these sports, also das war sehr gut gesagt hier, Vasu, als Verteidigungssportarten. Verteidigung is defense. Ja, Verteidigungssportarten, defensive sports, excellent. What is basically taught, or the bottom line, also wie man das sagt, sehr oft im Englischen, also die kleinere Schrift, the small print, how not to kill your opponent. That is taught here. That's self-discipline. How not to kill your opponent. You don't learn the sport to kill or hurt the opponent. You learn the sport to control yourself from hurting anyone. In fact, in basic judo, if you have seen some of the earlier Jackie Chan films, of course, the attraction is in the fighting. But in one of the films, it's very clearly mentioned. You learn Kung Fu to distract the opponent and run, not stand and fight. Because as a Kung Fu or Tai Chi or Taekwondo expert, it's not a problem at all to kill your opponent who doesn't know how to fight properly. Very easy. And this I have seen up close. In fact, I started learning this, then I gave up long time back during my college days. And once I took up the profession, we had a faculty member here at our university who was officially a judge, a judo and jiu-jitsu judge of national level, who was also teaching here in the physical education department. And he later took up the things in the, he used to produce films in the Education Media Research Center. And he once gave a demo of how to disable an opponent. Normally when people fight, and two men fight, they catch hold of each other's necks here, like this. Here, and then with the other hand, keep the other person at bay. Stop him and then hold the neck like this. What he showed us was using just his thumb behind the neck. There's a nerve, a pressure point here behind the neck, which he pressed. His opponent just collapsed on the floor. He said, so it's so easy. He said, I've now disabled him temporarily. He'll be okay. I'll make him okay. And he did make him okay. He said, if I press harder, this guy can become paralyzed for life. And if I press even harder, he'll die. I have not even started the fight. I've not hit him. He caught my neck, I caught his neck like this. That's it. And before the real fight could even start, he just pressed the nerve at the back. So, wenn you say Sport gegen Gewalt, wie kann Sport gegen Gewalt helfen? Also Sport lehrt oder unterrichtet uns Disziplin. Thus, again, if you look at it from individual and team sports, das zeigt uns Teamgeist, wie man zusammen als Team arbeitet. Das zeigt uns Strategie. Was soll ich jetzt machen, mich zu verteidigen? That is your basic aim, to protect yourself, not to hurt the opponent. Well, any sports you take, you can hurt the opponent, but that's not the idea. Right? And when you look at this text here, it's a longish text, we read it in bits and pieces, although I would rather read it rather than give it to you or ask you to read. Und am Anfang hier steht der Satz, wie in jeder Großstadt gibt es auch in Hamburg soziale Probleme. Was machen die 15-Jährigen nach der Schule? Sie bekommen keinen Job. Sie haben nichts zu studieren. Und sie haben Zeit. Was sollten sie in dieser Zeit machen? Gleich nach der Schule in eine Stelle einzutreten, geht nicht. Also was machen die Kinder dann in den europäischen Ländern? Sie gehen in das Einkaufszentrum. Was machen Sie in ein Einkaufszentrum? Nichts. Sie langweilen sich. They just get bored sitting there. Und allmählich kommt es zum Klauen, Handtaschen stehlen, Graffiti sprühen und so weiter. It just happens. Das ist dann menschliche Psychologie. Klauen.
Tut mir leid,
To
was
steal.
bedeutet der Klauen, sir?
Ja, to steal, stehlen.
Okay.
Go into a shop and you pick up an item hoping the security camera did not notice you. Handtaschen stehlen. Graffiti sprühen. How do they get rid of their boredom here? Und dann kommt hier dieser Fahim Yusufzai, ein gebürtiger, see the use of the adjective words, adjective here, Geburt, birth, gebürtiger, by birth an Afghan, ein gebürtiger Afghaner. So the adjective that we have formed from the noun Geburt, gebürtig, means by birth. Der arbeitet als Sicherheitsleiter im Einkaufszentrum Jenfeld. Und täglich ist er Sicherheitsleiter, Security Head in einem Einkaufszentrum. Täglich schnappt er. Was ist schnappen? Schnappen. Er schnappte Jugendliche beim Klauen.
Report. Notice.
Er schnappte den Jugendlichen.
Catching, caught.
Catching. When they are stealing, he catches them when they are stealing. Oder wenn sie Leute ärgern oder randalieren. Was bedeutet randalieren? Any idea? Randalieren? In English, the word is given with a V. Begins with a V, similar sounding. When they vandalize something. Do you know the word vandalize?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
They go into a shop and disturb the things which are arranged inside the shop.
Okay.
It doesn't take long to push down or pull down the clothes and stuff and then say sorry and walk out, isn't it? So what will be a worst case scenario? Worst case scenario, you will not be allowed into the building or allowed into the shop. So wer erwischt wurde, der bekam zunächst Hausverbot. We have our first relative Satz here. Wer, der. So whoever is caught, erwischen, synonym for schnappen, erwischen, to be caught, wurde, passiv. So whoever was caught was given Hausverbot. No entry. Doch das nützte nichts. That didn't help. Wen Fahim Yusufzai der Polizei übergeben hatte, dem begegnete er am nächsten Tag garantiert erneut im Einkaufszentrum. Our second relative Satz with wen and dem. So whoever or whomsoever Fahim Yusufzai handed over to the police, the same person he met, begegnen, dativ, to run into by chance, the next day, once again in the Einkaufszentrum. The police had to let these people go. There was no case.
Sir, what bedeutet erneut?
Erneut is afresh. Afresh. Again, erneut, renewed. Afresh. Und irgendwann, dann geht es weiter. Irgendwann wollte der Sicherheitsleiter nicht mehr tatenlos akzeptieren, tatenlos, ohne etwas zu tun. So somewhere this security officer, he did not want to accept, dass es immer die gleichen Jugendlichen waren, die Ärger im Einkaufszentrum machten. He did not want to accept that. Why is it that these people keep coming back to create a nuisance in the Einkaufszentrum? So, und er hatte eine Idee. Als 13-Jähriger begann sein Vater, ihn den Kampfsport, literally the fighting sport, the sport of fighting, Taekwondo zu lehren. Tai steht für die Fußtechnik und Kwon für Faust- und Armtechnik. Taekwondo. Do für den geistigen Weg. Und er trägt den schwarzen Gürtel. Was bedeutet, er trägt den schwarzen Gürtel?
The girdle is the belt.
Ja, Gürtel ist Belt. Also was ist denn schwarzer Gürtel?
Black belt.
Black Belt. Und dieser Kind hier, das Kind hier, hat einen gelben Gürtel.
Ja.
So was spielen diese Farben? Oder welche
Ja, es gibt
Rolle spielen die
Stufe. Ja, verschiedene Stufe.
Ja, verschiedene Niveau.
Niveau, also Sportniveau.
Ja.
Also Sportniveau, also wie gut sie sind, ob sie Anfänger sind oder ob sie Experte sind.
Ja.
Ein Anfänger normalerweise hat einen gelben Gürtel, nehme ich. No, weißen Gürtel. Starts with white, yellow.
Yellow, black,
No,
red,
black is the last
Brown.
one. No, green.
brown.
There's a green in between. Is red. I forgot the sequence now. And then there's a brown. After brown comes black. My daughter is a brown belt.
Oh.
She'll be very upset to find out that her father doesn't know what are the belts.
Be careful.
And I can always threaten her with not sharing any of my books with her. She loves books, so she will be okay with that. And why did we put our daughter into this sport? As girls and
Self-defense.
small kids, no, one self-defense, yeah. But as girls and things, there was no sports available for her on the campus. So she used to play with the boys. The only girl on this university campus who would play with the boys. She was a wicket keeper, cricket, which she played for the Canadian team. She was unfortunately not selected in the Canadian cricket team because she fell short of the domicile by 20 days. When they calculated the number of months she had celebrated or she had spent in Canada, she fell short by 20 days. So she could not make it to the Canadian cricket team. She has played for the Canadian 11 unofficially. She has toured West Indies last year, playing against the West Indian women and the others. But that playing with the boys seems to have helped her also. But with the remaining kids and the girls, one of the employees of the university was a black belt, or rather is a black belt. He offered to train them. So it taught them discipline, how to perform certain things, how to control your body, how to do your breathing. And they seem to enjoy it. The kids, they all seem to enjoy that. And then there were exams for this. And she was given certificates. She's got a collection of belts of this. She finished with the brown. She couldn't go up to the black. So diese Farben, sie zeichnen oder sie zeigen, wie gut oder auf welcher Stufe das Kind steht in dem Sport. So they saying, er trägt einen schwarzen Gürtel. Und wer, noch einmal ein Nebensatz, wer dem Nebensatz, Hauptsatz, wer diesen Sport treibt, dem sind Eigenschaften wie Disziplin, Selbstbeherrschung und Verantwortung für das eigene Handeln nicht fremd. So whoever practices this sport, for that person, Eigenschaften, characteristics wie Disziplin, self-control, and responsibility for your own action is not strange. Also, beschloss sich, entschied sich, diesen Sport den Jungen beizubringen. He decided to teach the kids. Okay? Nummer 1. Nummer 2. Er konnte den Jugendlichen besser helfen als durch Eintragungen der Polizei in ihr Führungszeugnis. Was ist ein Führungszeugnis? Das ist ein typisch deutsches Wort.
It's kind of a contact certificate.
There is a word before that, Polizei. Als durch Eintragungen, ja? Ja, was so?
Yeah, we have broken this one. We are eine Reisepass
Beantragen. Beantragen. Yeah. So what is this? Can you understand what this is? A Führungszeugnis, the others?
Yeah, contact certificate, sir.
It's a police clearance certificate.
Police clearance certificate. Okay.
That's what it is called in India.
Okay.
So once you have an entry in the police record books as an offender, that plays havoc with your travel documents. You're normally not issued a visa if you have a police record. That you were arrested for some vandalization somewhere or for some rowdy behavior somewhere. Getting a visa is not easy. So, what hat gemacht? Dachte oder hat gedacht, es ist besser, dass ich den Jugendlichen helfe, besser mit dem Sport als durch Eintragungen. Once the entry, Eintragung ist Entry. Also, wer einmal solche Eintragungen hat, der hat sich seine Zukunft verbaut. Very nice word. What is verbauen?
To
What
build.
is bauen?
Build.
Bauen.
One is building.
To build.
So Verbauen is
Bauen is to build.
devastated.
Yeah?
Devastated.
Yes.
Unbuilt.
In a way, yes.
Mm.
So those who have a police record, they have destroyed their future.
Bauen, verbauen. Okay.
They have spoiled their future. Ja, genau. Bauen und verbauen. It's the opposite, literally.
Okay.
They have destroyed, they have spoiled, they have marred their future. This is something that many students or many people are not aware of. A police record speaks against the person, especially when that person applies for a job. And many firms also secretly or even openly sometimes, they ask for a character certificate or a police clearance certificate, saying that there is no record in our police station or in our jurisdiction about this person. It's a very important certificate. If you have a record in that, in the police station, you're gone.
Especially for the government jobs, actually, they need.
Exactly, Jeet. Genau. Sehr gut gesagt. Genau. They're gone. They don't get a job. And I've tried to impress, there have been a few cases like that. I got some gray hair because of those cases.
Even I tell you what happened, because my wife, before marriage, actually, she got a job in bank.
Mhm.
So at the time of documentation, after the exam,
Mhm.
there was a document verification process, the next
Yeah.
step.
Yeah.
There, she was asked to bring 2 or 3 character certificates, one from a school, and then the other one from the college, and then the police station.
Yeah.
And we could not actually produce 3 of them at the same time. Then she was
Yeah.
asked, bring that one, and then we will proceed further.
Normally, the
Otherwise,
police thing helps if you can get it quickly.
yeah.
So, done. See this Verbauen, future is gone for these kids. They can't get into a job. Forget about a visa. Because they're a potential hazard for the employer. So what did he do? Er stellte die Jugendlichen vor die Wahl. Please note, vor die Wahl stellen. He put before them this choice. Man kann auch vor der Wahl stehen. You can also stand in front of a choice. So he placed this option, the choice, in front of them. Vor die Wahl stellen. Verb plus Nomen. Make note of this. Noch einmal Relativsatz. Wer zu ihm in sein Taekwondo-Training kommt, den bringt er nicht zur Polizei. So those who come to training for me or with me, those people I will not report this. Also mehr als 700 Kindern und Jugendlichen hat er dann trainiert. Und die Kinder lernen auch Kickboxen, das ist eine Thai-Sportart, Fußball und Basketball auch. Sie sind motiviert, sie lernen Stresssituationen oder Situationen ohne Waffe zu bewältigen. Was ist bewältigen? Eine Situation bewältigen. It appears similar to Gewalt, bewältigen. So what is bewältigen? Eine Situation bewältigen.
To control
Situ-
situation.
Situation demands.
Control. Can you give me another option? More than one word, please. I need synonyms.
To manage.
Situational
To
demand.
manage, superb. To manage a situation, to control a situation, to overcome a situation,
To overcome.
right? To master, handle,
Handle. Yeah.
right? So bewältigen. That means when you are in control or you're mastered, you're overcome, that's the meaning of this verb. So eine Situation bewältigen, ein Problem bewältigen, eine Herausforderung bewältigen, Schwierigkeiten bewältigen. See, how many,
Behandlung auch. Behandlung oder?
Nee, behandeln.
Behandeln. Okay.
Behandeln. Eine Aufgabe bewältigen, to cope with a task. Schwierigkeiten bewältigen, Probleme bewältigen. Once you know the root meaning, you can use this verb with lots of other nouns. Lots of nouns. So, das ist nicht nur eine Stresssituation bewältigen. To overcome a stressful situation, to overcome a problem, to overcome or cope with a difficult task, to cope with difficulties, to overcome, to manage, to handle difficulties, to handle, manage, cope, overcome problems. In all those places, you can use bewältigen. Und jetzt werden die Kinder selbstbewusster und sie haben Zukunftspläne. And then it goes on with one more relative Satz hier. Wen Probleme plagen, der hat die Möglichkeit, jederzeit mit ihm zu sprechen. So whoever is bothered with problems is able or can speak to Yusufzai. The important part, one is the social help that this Afghan has brought about. Second thing, Sport kann auch gegen Gewalt helfen. Und drittens, die Strukturen hier. Wer, der. So, das ist auch ein Relativsatz, aber Relativsatz mit wer. Diese Relativsätze mit wer, sie werden auch mit anderen Namen ernannt. They're also called by other names. But for us, we'll stick to this book as it is and call it Relativsatz mit wer. Because this wer ist im Allgemeinen hier verwendet. It's used in a generalized way, like whosoever. For example, they're normally used in Proverbs. Oh, there's some Proverbs here. Oh. A moment. Here, see. Wer andern eine Grube gräbt, fällt selbst hinein. Also hier. Was bedeutet das hier? Wer anderen eine Grube gräbt, fällt selbst hinein.
But whosoever dig the grave, he himself fell into something.
Yes. So this is that whosoever and not a particular person. So when you form a relative pronomen, ein relative Pronomen normalerweise bezeichnet oder steht in Bezug auf ein Nomen. Correct? Der Mann, der dort steht, ist Lehrer. Isn't it the way we learned this relative Satz?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that's my
Yes, sir.
exact question. Yeah, I'm coming to that only. Yeah.
So we learned it in this manner, saying that it refers to a particular noun. Das Kind, das dort spielt, heißt Alex. So we learned relative Satz, relative Pronomen in Bezug auf ein Nomen. Aber hier, wir lernen das, wenn wir kein Nomen haben. Bedeutet das, dass wir keinen Relativsatz bilden können? Nein. Wir können auch einen Relativsatz bilden, wenn es kein Nomen gibt. When we generalize something. And to this sentence, as Deep very correctly said, whoever digs a grave for the others, he falls into it himself. The word there is missing here. You can drop it at times. Like here, they've given you this there. You can leave this there out. As it says here, it's in brackets. So lots of proverbs which are universal. They have these where constructions. Uh-oh, I'm not visible, I think. Okay, ist es okay jetzt? Wer wagt, gewinnt.
Yes, sir.
Was bedeutet das? Ja, wer wagt, der gewinnt. Oder gewinnt. We did the word wagen the other day. What is wagen?
Eine
Self
Verkörperung
courage.
wagen.
Courage.
So
Courage.
that
Courage.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is to
great.
dare.
Dare.
To
So
dare.
who
Courage.
dares win?
That's
Who,
it.
yeah.
Who dares win?
Who dares wins.
Win.
So is it meant for just one particular person?
No, a normal life
Mm.
thing.
Okay, let me
Generalize.
read one more. Oh, so it doesn't work that way, is it? Okay, no problem. What is this here? Let's learn a few German proverbs here. Where rusted, they're rusted. Rusten or rosten?
Rosten is rust.
Ha.
So,
Yeah.
mm.
I'm trying to remember some of these proverbs. But where?
Steinwerfen.
Ja, genau.
Mm.
Rasten is to take rest.
So who rested rusts.
The one
Rust.
who rests,
Right?
that one will rust. In other
Rust.
words, don't sit there doing nothing.
Nothing.
Be active. Mentally,
Mm.
physically, be doing something or the other.
Mm.
Otherwise, whatever skills you have, you'll lose. They're rusted, they're rusted. Wer im Glashaus sitzt, der sollte nicht mit Steinen werfen. This I think we all know.
But this format it is again. Normally I say, okay, sollte nicht Steinwerfen. Why we need mit here?
Oh, this is the German way of putting it. You have to throw
Yeah, that's
with the
right. But
stone. You have to throw with the help of a stone, you throw something. You're casting aspersions on people. You yourself are in a very, very delicate situation and you're accusing someone of something using something. So mit Steinen werfen is the colloquial way of putting it. So das hier. Wer zuerst kommt, mal zuerst.
the
Was
person
ist
who comes
malen?
first draws the pictures. Yeah. Oh, this month. Come on.
Yeah.
I thought malen, no, as painting or drawing.
Nein, this is malen mit H. The other one is ohne H.
Okay.
Come on. Let's learn a few proverbs also. Yeah, zuerst kommt.
That's whoever comes first
Huh.
will be served first. Is that right, sir?
Whoever comes first will eat first. First come, first serve.
We have proverb in Tamil, the same thing. Pandikki mundu, padakki pindu.
You come first, you eat first.
You will be first.
So wer zuerst kommt, mal zuerst.
Mm.
Right? So there are many proverbs that begin with this wer as relative pronoun. Because these are generalizations. They apply to mankind, Menschen, menschbezogen. So it's not one particular person. So, and that is the object here. When we see this, jemand hat solche Eintragungen, someone. And that someone has spoiled his future. So whoever has such entries, police entries, that person, he or she has spoiled his or her future. So normally this wer is used with the nominative der and not die. It can also be die, of course. Basically, proverbs that try to match them in terms of rhyme. So this is often relative Satz. So, wer ist der Nebensatz und dieser der andere Satz ist der Hauptsatz. Und in diesem Fall beginnt der Satz normalerweise mit wer. As you see here. Now, depending on the case, you can change that wer to wen. For example, where was that? Wen. Here.
Sir, assist here.
Yeah.
Vein problem.
Wen Fahim Yusufzai der Polizei übergeben hatte. what is this? Wen Fahim Yusuf Zai der Polizei übergeben hatte. If you look at this sentence, why did we use, why did the author use?
Sir, whom?
Right? No? It's very easy to find out why he has used it.
When is again plural, Kinder, das Kind, die Kinder.
I'm not interested in the second one. Look at this sentence here. This is your subject.
Yeah.
It's a subject. This is your prepositional object. And this is your accusative. So whomsoever Fahim handed over to the police. Whomsoever. And then the text
So that's right. So in that case, it's a plural, am I right?
It was always used in plural, in singular, not in plural.
Okay.
That is the whole point here. So, dem begegnete er. The sentence continues with dem, and then comes the verb begegnen. Begegnen is one of the very few verbs that begins with be and is dative. Normalerweise Verben, die mit dem Präfix be beginnen, Akkusativ. Normalerweise. Begegnen ist eine Ausnahme. So, dem. So, in a sentence, depending on the usage, which again depends on the verb, whether this where is the subject or the object, you form your relative sats. So, wen Fahim zur Polizei übergeben hatte, dem begegnete er am nächsten Tag im Einkaufszentrum. Okay, now we also have other variations here. That was one. Secondly, I missed out. I should have noted the number. There was one more here with where. Yeah, where, diesen Sportreib, dem nicht fremd. To them are not strange. Fremd sein takes dative. Das ist mir fremd. It's strange to me. It's alien to me. So you have to use dem here and not der. So these relative pronouns with wer, with the W question words, they are used erstens immer im Singular und sie geben uns eine Art Verallgemeinerung, a generalization. So what are the rules now? What are the rules? Relativsätze mit wer beschreiben eine, your choice is here. One of these five you have to put there.
Unbestimmte Person.
Eine unbestimmte Person. So somebody who's not specified, an indefinite person. It could be whoever. He who laughs last laughs the best. That is again another German proverb. Wer zuletzt lacht, der lacht am besten. Whoever laughs last, that person laughs the best. So this is that last laugh. Somebody is making fun of you. At some stage, the tables will be turned. And then you can laugh at that person. So whoever laughs last, laughs the best. So hier, Relativsitzer mit wer beschreiben eine unbestimmte Person näher. So what comes in these two blanks?
Nebensatz.
Ja. So, ja, Jeet, der Nebensatz.
Yeah, their Nebensatz begins with their relative pronomen where.
Ja. Und next one, der
Hauptsatz.
Hauptsatz.
Then demonstrative
Well done.
pronomen der.
And the rule that we already know right from the beginning, number 3. Only 2 options now.
Their demonstrative pronomen.
9.
Their pronomen.
9. Der Kasus, der Pronomen, richtet sich nach dem Verb im jeweiligen Satz. Was ist Kasus?
Cases.
Cases.
The case, also accusative or dative. Whether the sentence is vain or vame or where depends on the verb. So if that subject part is missing, use nominative. If that object part is missing, use accusative.
Accusative.
So it's a verb that will determine that. So here subject missing. Wer zu ihm kommt. So nominative. Whereas in that other sentence we had was wen. Fahim is the subject. So whomsoever Fahim handed over to the police. Der Polizei is your dative. So Fahim subject handed over someone to the police. So since this someone is being handed over, this is the accusative object. Unbestimmte Person, it could be anyone, but a criminal maybe. So wen, not wer. So this relative pronomen richtet sich, der Kasus der Pronomen richtet sich nach dem Verb. Right? Wenn beide Pronomen im gleichen Kasus stehen, kann das Demonstrativpronomen der entfallen. If both of them are in the same case, nominative, then you can drop der. I've shown you that in the meanings here. Wer wagt, der gewinnt. Wer wagt, gewinnt. Wer wagt, der rostet. Wer lastet, rostet. Wer im Glashaus sitzt, sollte nicht mit Steinen werfen. Der. Wer zuerst kommt, I've left out the there. Because this is nominative, this is also nominative, you can drop this. Same case, drop the second one. It's an extension of what we had done earlier, relative pronomen. Dort war also der Bezugspunkt eine bestimmte Person. A particular person. Der Mann, das Kind, die Frau, die Leute, die Menschen, das Haus und so weiter. A particular noun. Here, this is a non-specified noun. Eine unbestimmte Person. Habt ihr hier Fragen? Any questions, anyone?
Nein, sir.
Sie haben
So,
das
sir,
schon geantwortet.
Ja, okay.
Ich habe mit unseren Übungen geguckt.
Ja.
Vielleicht haben wir 20 Übungen gemacht.
Ja.
Ich habe nicht nur eine Übung mit wer gefunden.
Gefunden.
Ja,
Natürlich
aber
nicht.
heute ich habe das realized.
Realisiert.
Okay, ich habe realisiert,
Ja?
dass er ein Grund hat.
Genau. So ist das. Aber das ist auch etwas Neues für uns. Something
Aber
new
ganz
for us.
wichtig, wann wir machen einen Satz oder für
Ja.
unsere Schreibübung. Ganz wichtig.
Bei der Verallgemeinerung, generalization, when you're not pointing to anyone specific. Yeah, whoever comes late or whoever registers late will not be accepted in the conference. Whoever. Right? This kind of notices and advice and warnings and notifications we keep receiving.
So it's again name and start. So I should say, wer spät gekommen hat.
Wer sich spät anmeldet.
Okay, and I can use simple past tense. Okay, now I need not use perfect there.
Not
wer
necessarily.
sich
Use the present
anmeldet
tense.
hat.
Nee,
Okay.
wer sich spät anmeldet. Whoever registers late.
Dürfte
Wer
nicht.
sich spät anmeldet, der bekommt keinen Platz. So remove the there, because where and there, die stehen im gleichen Kasus.
That's all. Dürft nicht. That's all. Simply I'll.
Dürfen nicht
But it'll be
teilnehmen.
rude.
No, it's a rule. You made a rule, so dürfen is allowed. Dürfen nicht teilnehmen. Close.
Dürfen nicht so teilnehmen oder teilnehmen?
Mit Modal verb not su vasu. It's already infinitive.
That's right. But sorry.
Structure wise, it's already infinitive, no? So not so.
Yeah.
Dürfen nicht teilnehmen. See, simple. It's a rule you made. So you're not pointing to any person. It could be anyone from anywhere. So any questions? Anyone, any questions? Keine Fragen?
Now that that November 20 exercise really helpful now. It's a good item.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed that. So now let's do something lighter. Also wir haben Wörter im Kasten wieder. Jugendlicher, Schüler, Karriere, Rentner, Arbeitsloser. Just for fun, nothing more. I want you to fill up these three boxes. Menschen, Ausbildung, Beruf, Institution.
Okay. Mention. Jugendliche.
Mention.
Rentner. Freunde. Verwandte.
Choose two for each. Two nouns in Menschen,
Okay.
two in Ausbildung or Beruf, and two for Institution.
Okay, from my side. Jugendliche und Freunde for Menschen.
Ja.
Und
Ausbildung.
Ja, und?
Polizei. Beruf.
Polizei und Regierung für Institutionen.
Ja.
Okay.
Und Arbeit und Beruf, Abschluss und
Abschluss.
Abschluss.
Career.
Carriera, good Monica. Carriera, Abschluss, yeah, and the
Great.
thing. Well done.
Yeah.
This is easy
Studium.
exercise. It's just, oh, yeah, you know. Which of these words have similar meanings? So we found out words here.
Teenager is
Jugendliche.
young and
Yeah, like Rentner.
Jugendliche Kinder.
So we have
Erwachsen.
Senioren means Rentner. Teenager,
Schüler.
Schulen.
Nein.
Erwachsen.
Jugendliche.
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 Jugendlich.
Also die
First year.
Jugendliche. Arbeitnehmer.
Yeah. Arbeitnehmer.
Ha.
I know. Yeah.
Arbeitnehmer.
Berufstätige.
Sehr gut.
Berufstätig.
Berufstätiger. Was bedeutet Berufstätiger?
Professional.
Working, basically.
Yeah.
Working person is a Berufstätiger. Okay. Behörde.
Amt.
Armed.
Amt, it can also be Regierung.
Okay.
Okay.
Was bedeutet Behörde?
Office.
Building.
Build. Nein.
Authority.
Office.
Authority.
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 Authorities.
Okay.
Der Staat.
Regierung.
Regierung. Der Club.
Verein.
Verein.
Verein is richtig. It's here. It's here, very much here. Okay, so that was not bad.
Sir, B2.
But you're still doing good.
Thai.
Still doing good. Now, let's see. What would be the opposite?
Super. Abhängigkeit is
Abhängigkeit.
Abhängigkeit.
No.
Der Krieg.
Yeah.
Der Krieg.
Seldom. Krieg is peace then.
Peace.
Ruhisch.
Ruhisch. Peace.
Nein, I need a noun.
War and
I
peace.
need a-
Peace, I don't know the word.
Frieden.
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 Because-
Frieden. Freaden. Article. I need
Frieden.
article.
Der
Der
Frieden.
Frieden is richtig. Is richtig. Is correct. What about this next one? Armut.
Reicht.
Reich.
Article, Kushi.
Die,
Try again.
der,
Ist richtig. Der Reichtum. Ja, okay. Gesundheit.
Krankheit,
Krankheit.
Krankheit. Umweltzerstörung.
Umweltschutz.
umweltfreundlich,
Umweltschutz.
Noun. I
Schutzung.
need a noun.
Umweltfreundlichkeit,
Umwelt?
Freundlichkeit,
No, this is environmental destruction.
Destruction.
Umweltschutzung, I said.
Umweltschutz.
Shoot.
Schutz. Ohne Ung. Schutz. Ungerechtigkeit.
Die Gerechtigkeit.
Gerechtigkeit.
Gerechtigkeit. Remove the Un. Sicherheit.
Unsicherheit.
Unsicherheit. Okay. Das Vertrauen.
Lügen.
Misstrauen.
Misstrauen.
Ja, Misstrauen. M-I-S-S. Misstrauen. Freiheit.
Beschäftigt.
Kriegheit. Gefängnis.
Yeah, but
Fähigkeit.
yeah, possible. Gefängnis, yeah, possible. Freedom,
Slave. Then
it's a negative word. Sklaverei. It's a negative word. Sklaverei. But Gefangenheit is a possibility.
Gefangenheit.
Imprisonment, literally. Freedom and imprisonment. Gefangenheit. Allowedness.
Verbot.
Verloren.
Superb.
Super,
Verbot is
verbot,
absolutely correct.
Verbot.
Verbot is correct.
Toshe. Toshe.
Touche. Get now.
Touche.
Touche. So article for verbot. Super, Vasu, that was the correct usage here.
Das.
Das verbot. Well done. See, your vocabulary is rich now. Very good vocabulary you people have.
Gestern habe ich benutzt Tosche in meinem Spielfeld.
Yeah, and it works.
Yeah. Literally, she started laughing.
When you play out a good point and you acknowledge it, then, oof, too good. Either that or with the racket this way also, touche. Well played. Okay, now let's see any other word thing here. Let's do the relative.
The challenge is when we use such words, no, they think that my German is so high and they talk very fast and very tough
don't
language.
worry. You'll get used to it very soon.
They make it more difficult for you.
No, it's not making difficult, Jeet. They consider you as one of their own native speakers. So they are more free with you when it comes to language. Otherwise, those poor people, they have to struggle to find easy words for you to understand.
Oh.
See, when a German talks to you, you don't know the effort that German is making to speak in German with you. It's a big effort to speak in simple language. Once they are happy, you give them that comfort zone. Don't worry, you speak in German, I'll understand. They are so happy, they become totally open.
You can see the sign of relief from
Yes.
from their face.
Yes, they're so happy. And it helps if you're living there, working there, because you are able to get a lot of German subconsciously, even if you are not using it consciously. So learn these and use them on Germans.
That's true. Even when I'm angry, my English is fast and I get a lot of vocabulary.
Oh, when I get angry, I slow down. Because I want to make sure people understand what I am saying.
So similarly here also. So when you're in the situation, we get a lot of
Difficult
Okay,
word
now-
and things.
Let's try the relative pronomen here.
super.
Ich glaube, wir haben Zeit. Ja, wir haben Zeit.
Yeah, kein Problem. Yeah, we have schaffen das. Wieder Relation zu hören.
Oh, come on. Warum funktioniert das? No mistakes. I will not say a single word until you finish the U-book.
Nur eine Frage, Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, Moses benutzen this bestimmte Form oder Moses benutzen der Form?
Relative pronomen. in dieser Form.
Mit diesem Format.
Ja.
Okay.
In der korrekten Form, das bedeutet, ist das Akkusativ
I need
oder
to change it.
Dativ oder
Decline.
gibt es ja, genau, oder Deklination, genau. So.
Ja.
Dann should be, so viel Zeit braucht ihr nicht. Okay, now you are done. Now somebody start. Each one take one
Sir.
and finish the exercise. Yeah.
Ganesh, sir.
Ja, bitte, bitte,
Ja.
bitte. Ha.
Immer wieder ist von Jugendlichen zu hören, die auf die Schieferbahn geraten.
Next sentence. Until we finish, I'm not saying anything.
Ja. Oft ist es Gruppenzwang durch der Jugendliche zu Straftätern werden.
Nächster Satz.
Sie wollen Freunde,
Hm?
den ihnen sehr wichtig sind, beeindrucken.
Nächster Satz.
Eine gute Alternative ist die sportliche Betätigung, bei der Jugendliche zeigen können, welche Kräfte in ihnen stecken.
Was hast du gesagt? Bei den.
Bei der.
Bei den.
Der.
Okay.
Der.
Nummer 5.
Der Kampfsport, der in den letzten Jahren immer beliebter geworden ist, eignet sich besonders dazu.
Gut, und Nummer 6. Der letzte Satz. Ja, wer mag das? Wer ist noch da? Anbarasi, Uma, Kushi? Who else is there? I can't see on my screen.
Ja, ich denke, das Einfügen in der Gemeinschaft lernt man am schnellsten im Team, das immer eine ersichtliche Funktion hat.
Number 2 and number 3 are wrong.
Oh, number 3 is wrong. 3 is mine. Okay. Sie
Two is
wollten
wrong.
Freunde.
Die.
Sehr
Der.
Die.
Freunde is
Die
plural,
in.
Die.
right?
No,
Ja.
there
Die ihnen, ja.
plural. Freunde.
Yeah, Beulah, plural.
So there
Plural, but what is the verb? What is the verb?
Sind nominative.
Sind.
Ah,
Die.
Okay, then D. Sorry.
Die, ne?
ah.
D.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The second one, sir.
So,
Oft ist es, ja. Durch, ich habe gesagt, der.
wie heißt der Artikel für Gruppenzwang? Der Artikel für Zwang.
Might be
Der.
D.
Der Zwang ist
Der.
richtig. Der Zwang. Also was kommt hier dann? Durch.
Durch.
Durch plus Akkusativ, ne?
Then, sir.
Ja,
Durch
durch den. Durch den.
Durch den.
Okay.
Tut mir leid, ja, ich kann verstehen, dass the Bedeutungen.
Moment.
Was
Durch
Bedeutung
plus den.
for this ganze Satz?
Ein Moment, Vasu. First, let's do the structure. Get the structure going. What is the meaning? We have been given a certain set of rules. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 3 is 5. Right? We have learned these rules. 2 plus 3 is 5. 3 plus 2 is 5. 4 plus 1 is 5. We have learned the rules. Let's worry about the usage of these damn things later, or the meaning later.
Okay.
So just look at this. Durch is an accusative preposition. Correct? Or fudge.
Yeah.
So after durch, I need an accusative. I need a
Accusative.
relative Pronomen im Akkusativ. Ein Relativpronomen bezieht sich auf ein Nomen. It's always with reference to a noun. What is the noun that we have to refer to? That is Zwang. Gruppenzwang. Group compulsion. Group pressure. Peer pressure. Gruppenzwang. Peer pressure, group compulsion. So der Zwang. So I have der Zwang. So durch takes accusative. So durch den Jugendliche zu Straftätern werden. So I got my grammar correct. Durch den. Now let's look at the sentence for the meaning. At leisure. Very often it is peer pressure through which the teenagers become criminals or take to crime. Peer pressure causes them to take to crime. So the meaning also now we have got. Got it? Everyone?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Super. This is a revision of the relative pronomen. So you're more confident here. Morgen machen wir dann weiter. Vielen Dank für die Mitarbeit heute, für die Geduld und für das Mitmachen. Gibt es noch Fragen? Habt ihr noch Fragen?
Okay. Ja, ich habe eine Frage, Sir.
Ja?
In the model